Well, no, we got to keep, like Bell said, and the girls said, we ain't got no time to lose because Will got me on the clock, baby. Okay. I want you to meet young gentleman. I happened to meet with his sisters last week, and he had a book signing last week. And then what's the name of this book, my brother?
The Last Block in Harlem.
The Last Block in Harlem. What's your name?
Christopher Herz.
Say that name again.
Christopher Herz.
Say it one more time if you don't mind.
Christopher Herz.
Give it up for Christopher Herz, everybody. How you doing, my brother?
Fantastic, fantastic.
You know, listen, let me tell you this. Last week when he had, y'all should have came last week. I mean, he sat back there. This brother was hooking it up. I mean, he sat back, he had a little wine, you know. I said, he said, you can't drink, Lenny? I said, well, I really can't drink. I said, that's all I need. I miss it. You know, I sit back there, smell the herb, you know, it was good. But
I
you were
drank one for you, though.
You drank one. You drank one for me. Yes, you did. You dedicated one for me. Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself. Well, about 5 years ago, I was roasting hot. I was sitting on the stoop of my girlfriend's apartment in Los Angeles, and there was just something inside of me. I was like, let's get out of LA. Called a friend of mine, and he was telling me about an apartment he had in New York. We sold everything we had. I proposed to her. She said yes, threw what we had left in the van, drove out to New York, and moved into an apartment right over there on 153rd in St. Nicholas. And immediately I felt home. And one of the reasons why is because my grandparents, when they first came here from Germany, kind of forced out of Germany, they had about a day to leave. The Nazis had shown up at my grandfather's door.
You said they showed up at his door, right?
Yep, the Nazis were there waiting for my grandfather when they were coming home for dinner. And they said, they grabbed him, took him, put him in a concentration camp. Grandmother found him, did what she had.
How did she find him?
I mean, how does a woman find a man she loves?
Yes.
She finds him and does whatever she can to get him out. And she got him out. They said, you have 24 hours to get out of here. So they came, and they came right around here. My grandfather, he worked at Columbia Presbyterian, not too far up, and my father was born a few blocks up from here. So there was, I guess, something always calling me back to this neighborhood. And it was just something in my blood, I guess, that just called me back. So I feel very at home here. And everybody around has made me feel very at home.
Well, give a big hand, everybody. Not plugging on the bookstores, but you said you felt the warmth up here as sisters, right?
I did. Yeah, I walked in here with my book, actually, and Jennifer was sitting down, and I think she had just sat down to eat something, and she just saw me and put down her food and gave me a big hug and said, welcome, blessings. I mean, anybody who's met any of the women who work here pretty much feel that same thing from them. And, you know, we just kind of sat down, and I started telling her about the story about the book and how it came to be, and, you know, a couple weeks later, she had me in here for a reading. It was fantastic. Absolutely.
How did this book came to be?
Well, when I moved in, we didn't have any furniture, nothing. All I had was my typewriter and a milk crate, and I just sat down and just started writing the story that came through me, actually. And when I finished it, I printed up about 1,000 copies. I walked them up 4 flights of stairs, and I put 10 in my bag every day and walked the streets of New York, just walking up to people, saying, can I present my novel to you? And so didn't stop until I sold 10 every day.
You set a goal for yourself. You said you could sell 10 a day, or just put 10 in your bag, right?
10 in my bag, and I didn't come home until I sold my 10th. So.
That's discipline. You agree with that, Fiona? Yeah. That's discipline. You know, because you have to discipline yourself and do something like that. Some people say, "Oh, well, I sold 5. What the heck? That's it." You know,
right.
You know, fold up 10 and go home. But you set a goal for yourself.
Sure. Well, you have to. You know, you believe. You know, I mean, there's a lot of writers here in the audience as well, and you know that in your hand you're holding your goal, your dream, your everything. And I think that the opportunity to put that into somebody else's hand and have them read what you think and then give you that energy back, I mean, that's the gift, right? And you know, I'm sitting here with all these books and surrounded by all these amazing writers, and you know, when you write something, you're just contributing, I think, to that history and that lineage of literature, and you know, just to give something to that is absolutely amazing, and I feel blessed to do that. And you got to hustle as well. So, you know, walking the streets of New York and trying to sell something out of your hand, you're going to get a lot of crazies and get out of my face, but you know, you get interesting stories as well. So, and one of the women I had sold it to, she'd actually just signed a publishing deal. She sent a picture of me selling the book to her friend and Publishers Weekly. They wrote a story about me, and the book got picked up, and got re-released by a small publishing company like inside of Amazon. So,
Yeah, well,
you know,
man,
you gotta,
review. What is this book about?
wow. You know, I think there's so many things.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's all right. There's a lot going on, but I think the theme of the book is trying to stay clean in a world that just won't let you. And no matter how many times you try to clean up and try to make something good for yourself, the world around you will continuously like throw trash on you, and it will try to define you. The more you try to define yourself, the more the world will try to define you. So I kind of was trying to just work out like what's the difference between trying to accomplish something and leave your mark on the world, and then just living your life and appreciating what you have until, you know, before it's gone.
You know, like sometimes you know, like I see, like you mentioned, like they clean up the block and everything, and then all of a sudden somebody says, "Hey, they clean up the block. Hey, it's time for us to sit back here and move on in."
Right. Well, absolutely. And there's a lot of that, and I think kind of what I was going after is, you know, obviously in Harlem right now there's a huge change going on, and I think one of the biggest debates right now is, you know, is gentrification a good thing or is it a bad thing? And you talk to 100 people, and the 100 people will give you 100 different answers. And I kind of wanted to explore that without passing any judgments, you know, and just kind of get people talking about it. And more than that, getting like the kids around here talking about it, because, you know, I see, you know, I think one of the impetuses of me writing the book was I saw this kid eating a slice of pizza, and he threw the plate on the street, and I was just like, wow, that's amazing, because here's these beautiful buildings and these amazing people.
There's some beautiful buildings. All this beautiful, a lot of beautiful buildings. Oh my God!
And it's you know, it's the center of culture that's spread around the world, and it's the birthplace of so much power and beauty and commerce, everything. And I think that you throw trash on that, you're gonna devalue the property value of that, and that's gonna allow people to kind of come in. So I kind of wanted to like get young people to see that they pretty much can control the economic power base of their own small little piece of their community, and then hold on to that, and then not let anybody else come in and dictate what to do.
What's the reaction of you? A lot of young people have read this book. What was their reaction?
You know, it's a lot of the. I gave, I don't know if any of you all know, but Jackie Harris, who lives over on 153rd and St. Nicholas, I think every block has a person like Jackie who just knows everybody and takes the packages for everybody and knows everybody's business and whatnot. And, you know, I kind of gave her a bunch of the books to give to some kids in the neighborhood. And, you know, they're coming up, they've walked up to me and they're like, thank you very much. And, you know, not too many words, but just like, I read it, I liked it. And, you know, people who have lived in the neighborhood for like 40 some years, they felt that I was very true to the neighborhood, and for me that was very important, because the book was kind of a love story to my block. Because, you know, where can you sit out on a fire escape and watch kids run through fire hydrants in the summertime and have a block party and come to like an independent bookstore where the woman behind who's selling you the cake is the person who's making the cake, and the writers who wrote the books are here talking to you about them, and it's that very authentic experience that I think is going away. But I don't think it should go away.
No, it shouldn't go away at all.
I don't think so. So, and it's, you know, it's a valuable thing. And, you know, for me, when I was young, I remember reading books and just going away and just enjoying that world that I got into. And I think.
Well, you think that reading? We have some young kids, young children in the audience. Do you think that reading is important more than ever?
Yeah, I mean, I think reading is important because it allows you to think very differently than other ways, because when you read something, you hear your voice. There's no commercial interruption. There's no television producer like adding canned laughter in there. They're not trying to make you feel a certain way. You can kind of come up with your own opinions, and then you read a book, and what's the best thing? Oh, did you read this book? And then you start talking about the book, and you start debating the book, and you loan somebody the book, and it's a real magical, amazing experience that, you know, I think the digital world is opening up that reading experience rather than closing it. So I'm excited about that.
What are your future plans?
My future plans is to write as many books as I possibly can and speak to as many people as I possibly can, and, you know, increase the want to read and the fun aspect of literature that I think it provides. And, you know, people write, and you write, you know, you read a book about a place that you've never been before, and then you understand those people, right? And then you love those people, and then how are you going to go to war against those people, right? I mean, imagine if, you know, everybody had read books about Iraq and Afghanistan and all these places where, and Pakistan or Yemen or whoever we're at war with today. We wouldn't vote for a war against these people if you had read about them and you felt some type of connection. So I think literature connects people beyond what the television and media do.
Do you agree, everyone?
Yes.
Give them a big hand on that. I would say that, give me the signal, wrap it up. I believe that reading opens up your mind to a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And I'm reading